Welcome back, guys. Today we are working on one of these neglected shit boxes. I don't know if you could tell which one. The hood might be a hint. But what we're doing to it is a little bit more exciting than normal because we have this Wilwood proportioning valve, and it's an adjustable one. And that is some race car shit, honestly. And I splurged on the Wilwood one. I spent about twice as much because I wanted to be steezy. But the reason I'm going to be using this is, if you remember, I deleted my ABS, which does a good portion of the proportioning. And I'm not sure quite yet if there is a proportioning valve in this car. I know that some of them had a load sensing proportioning valve, which was right under the spare tire. So I'll probably check that and take it out if I have one, just so I can have the full proportioning up front on the knob. But basically, this is going to tremendously help pedal feel by fixing the proportioning from the front and to the back. Most importantly, this thing is going to allow me to dial in my brakes without ever opening another brake line in my life, but I still have to endure doing it one more time today. But right now I'm gonna go figure out how exactly my spare tire comes down, so let's try that out. And supposedly that is back here, which, oh, not so much. Oh, but I do have it just not where it's supposed to be. This bong jack is pretty epic too. But this is what you need. It's this long thing, and that goes right into this hole on the back. And you're gonna turn it, and that should lower the tire. The year 2000, honestly, better than I expected. As I sit down here, just jerking off, my genius precedes me because not only did I not need to remove the spare tire because I don't think it would have been in my way anyway, but clearly this car does not have a load sensing proportioning valve like I was thinking, which leads me to believe that it just has no proportioning valve. And I think that's because the ABS pump I took out did the kind of job of proportioning for the car. But since I took that out, I think that would also explain my problem of the pedal feel. So we're just going to proceed as if this thing has no proportioning valve and I'm installing the only one. But installing this is going to be made a lot easier by the fact that I already took the ABS pump out, because all I need to do is take these lines, which this is the back and this is the front. And one of these is in and out for the back. This is the in from the master cylinder, and these go to the two calipers. But basically, I'll be back really fast. I'm just going to AutoZone, and if they have the part, I'll give you guys the exact number right here so that you can get the same thing. You know, I hate working on the daily because now I have to drive it to AutoZone while I'm working on it. I'm going to stop myself right there before I do something really stupid, even though I'm going to do it anyway. But let me just explain to you guys what's happening. The only reason that you can't install the proportioning valve outright is that the Wilwood uses 3/8 by 24, which is a standard measurement, as opposed to the Toyota, which is obviously metric, and I'm pretty sure they use M10 by 1. And the only real right way to get this to work is with a 3/8 by 24 flare nut and reflaring the lines. And that part number for AutoZone that I gave you is a set of 5 flare nuts, and that's exactly what you're going to need to install this. But at the time I was driving here, when I went to the AutoZone, they told me that they don't sell flare nuts anywhere ever at all because, you know, they knew what they were talking about clearly. So then I went to the Junkyard and looked for them, and after failing at that, then I realized that they did have them at AutoZone, and I went back and just showed them my part number. So as long as you guys have that part number, you should be good. All right, we're here at the Junkyard. I'm pretty much just looking for a 2002 to 2007 Impala because ChatGPT told me they're the most common car I could find that uses them. Oh boy, is that a Geo Metro? What a fucking beauty. Oh, convertible. I didn't know they made these convertible. And here is the Butte right here. ABS pump here has at least 4 of them. Alright, I'm back from the Junkyard with these flare nuts, and then I went and rented these toolkits. If you don't know, they're free at AutoZone. So these are the flaring kits. I'm never gonna buy one if it's free. This is a brake line cutter, and I'm going to use that to cut the brake lines up. But the hard part's gonna be finding a spot that is straight enough to flare the new end on. But I'm just gonna try my best, get all these old ones off, that way I can put the new ones on. Alright, I just got all these rubber things off of all the lines. Now I can slip the new flare nuts over and start measuring out exactly where I want the lines to be. All right, I got it all installed off camera because it was kind of a hard process to record, but it's looking pretty good. I just have it kind of floating in there. I think it's going to stay this way. I will show you though how to flare the lines because I have to redo this bottom one here that's leaking. Now this is the kit that I have. It's a little different from the AutoZone one because I have this cutter in there, but you'll probably just have to buy this cutter on your own. This is going to help you get a straight cut, which is really important. You pretty much just tighten it incrementally as you twist it around until the whole thing snaps off, and then once it's snapped off you can put that nut on, and it helps to make sure that the line is bent as straight as you can get it, and maybe even file down some of the imperfections so that you can get it far down onto the line. And then you take this big thing and you stick the line through the 3/16 hole, and you want to make sure that the flared side of the thing is facing up. Then before you tighten it all the way down, you want to take this little 3/16 nub here, and if you see this bottom line right where my nail is the first lip, and you want to make sure that that line is sticking out of the clamp just enough to be perfectly even with that top lip. Then once you have it lined up, you can flip the nib over and stick it into the line, and then you can take the press piece, stick it around there and tighten it all the way down, and you're going to feel it bottom out, and once it does you can back it right off. Then to do the second flare you're going to do the same thing again, just without the nib, and that way you can center the point of this thing into the inside of the line and just tighten it down once again until it bottoms out. And hopefully after all that you can take everything off and the inside of your line should look very uniform. Now you can snug it down, and you kind of want to tighten this down a little bit more than you might think because it's kind of like a crush washer. Everything's soft metal and it's sort of going to conform into its own shape to make that seal. And with that, the whole thing's not leaking anymore, and I'm pretty happy with how it's sitting. Okay, and after we did that one line over again, this is what it's looking like. It is a little bit higher than the master cylinder. I might have to do some work on that. If anything, I'll just bend it down because really I'm not looking forward to ever cracking a line open again. And literally the last time I touched this thing, I said that exact same thing, and here I am again, making myself go through this agony. But overall, that's done. I'm gonna go take it to the shop right now, get it bled. Thanks so much for watching. If you're building a 4Runner 2, or if you had a prop valve that you also just needed to install, or if you just like watching, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.